In this video, I will provide overwhelming evidence which shows that the two end of days characters known as the first beast and second beast mentioned in the Bible book of Revelation are two separate people. The first beast is the Islamic Mahdi and the second beast is the Islamic Jesus, Isa. Both of these people are also known as the Antichrist. Please bear in mind that according to 1 John chapter 2 verse 18, it actually confirms that there are multiple Antichrists. The issue of the Antichrist is very complex. I will explain more about this later. In my previous videos, I have already revealed powerful evidence showing that the Bible first beast, Islamic Mahdi, has already arrived and that he is the leader of ISIS known as Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. This is in part due to the fact that this man fulfills the prophecies in both the Bible and the Muslim Quran. He is also the seventh king mentioned in Revelation chapter 17 verse 10, who will rule for a short time. In Revelation chapter 13, the Bible introduces a beast rising up out of the sea with feet like a bear and the body of a leopard, with 7 heads and 10 horns and 10 crowns on those horns. Each of the heads has the mouth of a lion with the name of blasphemy on each head. It is also important to point out that one of these heads receives a deadly wound which then heals. Here are those verses. Revelation chapter 13 verses 1 to 4. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rising up out of the sea, with 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns were 10 crowns, and upon his heads were the names of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat. And I saw one of the heads of the beast from the sea, as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Please note, I provide a full, comprehensive identification and explanation of this beast from the sea in my previous video titled Islamic State, the 7th head of Bible Sea Beast. The common belief amongst theologians and scholars is that this sea beast represents Satan himself. His various animal body parts represent world ruling kings, governments, nations, who are secretly under his control. These world powers will rule the earth in sequence, one after the other, until the return of Christ, who will subdue and destroy them during his second coming. In verses 3 to 4 of that same chapter, i.e. Revelation chapter 13, where it describes this beast from the sea receiving a deadly wound to one of its heads, which then heals. I am saying that this wounded head represents the first beast, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the Islamic Mahdi. I will provide proof for this claim later. Here are those verses. Revelation chapter 13, verses 3 to 4. And I saw one of the heads of the beast from the sea, as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Please note that in Revelation 13:3, where it mentions the wounded head al-Baghdadi, it is also very important to point out that this wounded head is actually identified as being both a kingdom and a king in the next Bible verse. Revelation chapter 17, verses 9 to 10. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains which the woman sits upon, and they are 7 kings. Please note that mountains symbolize kingdoms. This is confirmed in Psalm 48 verse 1. Also of importance is that it's accepted amongst scholars that the woman is the whore who symbolizes all the people of this world who follow false religions and practices. Oh, and by the way, as I was saying, according to the words of this verse, it indicates that the wounded head represents both a kingdom and a king. As you can see from the image in the top right hand corner, the king is Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, and the kingdom, which is his kingdom, is called the Islamic State Caliphate. Okay, I'm now going to continue with the rest of verse 10. 5 of those kings have fallen. 1 king is active, and the other king has not yet arrived. But when he does arrive, he will only be in power for a short time. On the next page, I will provide evidence showing that this description in this verse is talking about Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi when it says the words, and the other king has not yet arrived, but when he does arrive, he will only be in power for a short time. As we already know from the daily news media, it is common knowledge that al-Baghdadi ruled the Islamic State Caliphate for a short time, starting from 2014 through to 2018, when it fell. That's approximately 4 years, by the way. Therefore, he automatically fits the description of the seventh king mentioned at the end of that last verse of Revelation 17:10, who will only be in power for a short time.